Hello folks, I'm going to do a couple of videos tonight while I'm feeling well enough to do so. So I'm going to definitely cover the bobbles at least of part 4 of the crochet along. So I've already done my foundation row, which some of you may know I do the foundation row and chain all at the same time, which gives me nice flexible stretchy piece of work. So I've marked my first stitch at that end, and I've already chained one, and I've marked this stitch at this end. The reason I've marked the chain is because I do include the chain as my first stitch, so I have a nice smooth edge. If you don't, just continue as the pattern says and don't include it as a double crochet if you're using UK terminology, single crochet if American, and put your first stitch in the base of that stitch. But anyway, we shall continue. So my first stitch is my turning chain, and then I need to do another 7 doubles. So I'm skipping the first one, and I'm going to do 7 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to start number 7, but I'm not finishing number 7 with the fern colour. I'm finishing it with, it's Lily in the pattern. I'm using my stash for this particular part. So I'm using fondant with the special DK. So I'm going to finish this stitch with the pink. I'm going to pull that yarn forward, the tail, because this is the back of the piece of work. The front is facing away from us, so I want all my tails to be on this side. And if you look at the first page of the instructions, it explains how to make a bobble. And the bobble is consisted of 5 incomplete treble stitches worked into one stitch and then being completed with one. So I'll actually demonstrate that with each bobble that we do, because there's 6 to do across here. So what I'm going to do though when I do it is keep a hold of my fern colour, because I'm going to crochet over its tail while I'm busy. So it can be a bit fiddly, but you all know by now I'm a bit of a neat freak, so I shall continue as thus. Right, so we need a yarn over hook, insert into the next stitch, pull up 1, yarn over through 2 and stop at that point. And yarn over, insert into exactly the same stitch, yarn over through the first 2 and stop. Yarn over, and as you can see I'm collecting the fern piece at the same time. Pull up, yarn over through the first 2. So we've got 3 they're not half trebles, but they're not completed yet, if that makes sense. So we'll keep going. So this is number 4, so yarn in, pull up through the first 2 stitches, yarn over, pull up, yarn over through the first 2. So at this point we have got 6 loops on our hook. The first one is the very first loop that we had from completing the last treble in fern, and then we've got the 5 partially completed trebles on our hook. Now the designer Jane is now asking us to complete this bobble with the fern, so we need to collect the fern coloured yarn, yarn over, and you're pulling through all 6 loops on that hook to create your bobble. And then what she's asking us to do is to do 7 double crochets into the next 7 stitches in our foundation chain. So foundation row, sorry. So I'm going to crochet over this pink I know that in Jane's instructions she's leaving a strand at the back, but I'm actually going to crochet over it, and then when I will do row 2 using the teal to show you how I hide this yarn as much as possible. But I'm going to do the next 7 stitches, but I'm going to make sure I crochet over that pink. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. It is fiddly using more than one colour at the same time. 5, 6 and 7, which I should have completed with the pink colour. So 7 complete with the pink in preparation to do our next bobble. So again, I'm going to make sure I crochet over the fern at the same time as I go into this next stitch. So it's yarn over for a treble, insert your hook, pull up 1, yarn over through the first 2, yarn over into the same stitch, pull up 2, yarn over through the first 2 stitches on your hook, yarn over, pull up, yarn over through the first 2, yarn over, pull up, yarn over through the first 2, yarn over, pull up, yarn over and through the first 2, and that's our second bobble almost complete. We're going to use the fern to complete the bobble like so, and then continue to do 7 doubles across this foundation row. So that's 1, 2, 3, and as you can see I'm crocheting over the pink at the same time. We'll keep going. 4, 5, 6 and 7, but we'll complete 7 with the pink in preparation for bobble number 3. Oh, off we go again. So to yarn over into the next stitch, pull up, yarn over through 2, yarn over, collect, yarn over through the first 2, yarn over into the same stitch, up, yarn over through 2, yarn over into that first stitch, yarn over through 2, yarn over into the first stitch, same stitch, sorry, yarn over through 2. And again that leaves us with 6 stitches after we've completed the 5, and again we're complete with the fern in preparation to do our next 7 double crochets. So again, get your pink so it's lining up along your piece of work, insert your hook and do your first treble, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't complete with the green, complete with the pink. And we're ready to do our next bobble. So yarn over, insert, pull up through the first 2, yarn over, insert, pull up through the first 2. And I'll just keep on with this bobble. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, giving us 6 loops again, complete with green like so, and then 7 more doubles along, incorporating the pink into that piece of work. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, We're at 7, but we're completing with the pink on number 7. If we didn't complete with the pink at this point, the first part of this bobble would have a green line in it and it wouldn't look neat, which is why we're changing the colour at this point, so that our next stitch is consistent. So again, we're going to just crochet over the green at the same time. So yarn over, insert into the next double, pull up through the first 2, and we're going to keep doing that until we've got our 5 incomplete trebles. So we got a bit of a twist going on there. So 2, 4, 6 on our hook, complete with the green, and the reason we're complete with the green is so our first double that we do after the bobble is all green. If we didn't, it would have a pink lip on the top, which would be much harder to hide and much more visible to see. So now we're going to do 7 double crochets, incorporating that pink strand as we go along. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, and we complete the 7th with the pink, like so, and then do our last bobble, yarn in, pull up through the first 2, and do that for another 4. And then we have our 6 loops, and we're completing with the green. So we complete with the green. And at this point, I'm not going to go over the pink because we're not going to be using it anymore. So I'm going to tie it off when I finish this row. So we now should have 8 double crochets to do. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and number 8 is highlighted by this stitch marker here. So I'm going to take that out because I can't get my hook into the same place at the same time. Now I'm going to pull up, but I'm not going to complete this double because the next change is to teal. So what I will do is add this colour in now by completing that stitch, and the next row is a row of double crochet. So we only need to chain 1, so I will chain 1, but again I use my chain 1 as my first stitch, so I'm going to highlight that, and then just so I don't lose my loop, I'm going to use another stitch marker in there just for now while I tidy the rest of this up. So we can trim both the fern and the pink at this point. And move them out the way. Right, so this is my wrong side. Okay. And this is the right side where they puff out. And they might need a little bit of encouragement just to get their shape. Okay, and you can see, you can only just see, if I pull, the pink peeping through. So even at this point it's fairly unnoticeable, but we will be covering it with our next round. What I will do though is I will weave in my fern colour just as I do in every other round or row that I've ever done a video on. So we'll just shift everything out the way. And I'm just going to feed that up the back so that we come to the very top of the row to finish that stitch off nicely. Now this is the front, so I need to turn over. And I'm just feeding my yarn up and down the back. It is the back loop because this is the wrong side. Up and down there like so. And I am going to do it in the pink one because it's going to be crocheted over so it won't be noticeable. I do like to weave along a fair way to ensure that the tail is definitely dealt with and isn't going to come back and haunt me later on. So we've dealt with that one. Now the pink is not quite so easy to weave in. So I am going to knot this first, and it'll be a tiny knot. Just pick up a strand of your bobble at the back. And I create one loop, and I put my needle through to create a second loop, and I pull that second loop to tighten the first, so it's quite tight. Then I will do a third loop just to make sure, and again tighten the second with the third one last time through, so that's nice and secure. I know that isn't going to come out. And then I'm just going to feed this through. That there were 7 double crochets in the fern where we've already got the pink running through, and I'm going to feed it through the next bobble. So you can't really see the needle, it's in between the stitches, and I'm just going to push that through with it just to get rid of that tail, and that'll snip off nice and neatly later on. And you can barely see the knot that I've put in there. You know, I all know I don't really like knots, but there are occasions where you can't really get away from them. And I'm just going to do the same with this end here. So this is the starting end. So again, I'm just going to pick up a strand. So we create one loop, then we create 2 by feeding the needle through the first, but we tighten the first with the second, needle through again to create a third loop, pull, last time, needle through and pull, quite tight without damaging the aesthetics on the other side, and then feed through the last few strands at the back here of the bobble, and then through those 7 double crochets to the next bobble like so. And that deals with that. So I'm going to end this video now because I don't want them to get too long, and I'll do the next video, which will be the row of teal that goes across the top of this one, to doubly make sure we can't see this pink. So I'll catch you in the next video. I hope this helped clarify any issues with the bobbles and the stitch counts and where you need to put your hook, and how you can deal with hiding tails if they are an issue for you or not. Happy hooking, and I'll speak to you again in a minute. Bye.